women's 100 with Elaine Thompson-Herah. We knew she was going to win once we found out no Shelly and Fraser Price. And she didn't disappoint. She could have gone out there and run a 10.8 and still won this race, but she gave us a 10.65, which meet record. It's incredible that we're looking at 10.6 on a clock, and we're like, okay, cool. Like, that's how great she's been. She's been able to turn 10.6 into an average mark based on her entire season. Fastest time since it's our first Diamond League title since 2017, according to the Wanda Diamond League Twitter account. But overall, what do you think of her 10.65?
Yeah, this was the one race really that was not close. The one, marquee race that was not close, that we were, thought potentially going in could be close. Although when Fraser Price pulled out, she didn't, and Warholm obviously got his victory. What I think, it was just exactly what you expect from Elaine Thompson. And before the race started, I thought, well, I think she's going to go for it, because why not? No guarantee she's going to be in the shape again, as we talked about time and time again on this pod. You don't know if you're ever going to be in 10.6 low, 10.5 shape again, because very few people in human history have ever been in that type of shape. And listen, the second half of her race is just unstoppable. And the amount of distance she puts on people from 50 to 100 is just staggering every single time you watch it, because you look and you see where they're at 50, and you're thinking, okay, well, this one's going to be close, or maybe the time will be a bit slower. And then she just does all that work in the second half and puts distance between herself and everybody else and knocks out another all-time time. I mean, what are we at now? We're at 4 sub 1070s on the year, and then 1 sub 1060. It's just that's unprecedented consistency. So a 10.54, a 10.61, a 10.64, and a 10.65. This is the fourth best mark of the season for her, and it was a 10.65. Now, mind you, going into this year, we looked at 10.70 is really that line that if someone dipped under, it would have been a huge deal, and it's just become commonplace this year.
Yeah, you need Shelly Ann to run now, I think, a 10.64 in her final race, which I think will be happening next week. So it can be, Elaine Thompson-Herah,
every 100th.
Elaine Thompson, Shelly, Elaine, Shelly, Elaine, Shelly. That's what we need, that symmetry. But yeah, looking at these overall record books now, this is all time. You're just seeing a lot of 2021 Jamaicans, right? You just they just have infiltrated this, top 10 all-time mark with like everything they've done in the year of 2021. It's amazing. It shows that none of these races were flash in the pans. They backed up every performance with an equal performance or an even better performance to kind of double down on the legitimacy of their talent. Because we've seen a lot of times where there's certain athletes, it's just like that random one-off mark where everything was perfect and they've never been able to touch it again. They show that nothing was fluky about this year for both Elaine and Shelly Ann. Fortunately, we didn't get to see the Shelly Ann versus Elaine show one more time. I think when we've been debating about who has had the better season overall, I think because Shelly Ann hasn't given us an opportunity to see her try to beat Elaine one more time, gotta give it to Elaine Thompson. I mean, she's got the double-double, I guess technically triple-double because of winning the 4x1. And now winning the Diamond League, running all-time top marks. Elaine Thompson-Herah, you are, without a doubt, the fastest woman on this planet this year.
I'm back. There you go. All right. So the last thing I heard, you said you were going to start talking about the women's 100. No, I'm just kidding.
You literally came back right when I finished my statement. So I had no idea that you were frozen. So that was perfect. It was perfect.
I should have just played. I should have just played. I just played it. I should have played it off. And listen, the people listening and not seeing it would have never noticed. They'd have never been worse for wear. They would have never been into the wiser about this black box on one side of the screen. I also wanted to mention, did you talk about Dean Asher Smith?
Did not. I only talked about Elaine and a little bit of Shelly.
Okay, it's 1087. Solid run for her. Season best. She was in her best form post Olympics, which is a tough break, but I thought a good rally for her to get second. And you go farther down that list, you got three other women who are sub 11. Not all the superstars lined up in here. It would have been awesome to see the Jamaicans go for another sweep again with Fraser Price and Jackson, and obviously Richardson for the U.S. We didn't get that, but Thompson-Herah is good enough to where she makes you want to watch because she puts these improbable times up time and time again. Moving on to you want to go to women's two now?
Yeah, stay in this world.
All right, how many times have I seen this women's two? I know I've only seen it like twice with this group, with Mboma and Jackson, with Mboma coming back and catching Jackson. But when it was developing, it was so